Hi, tell us your name.
My name is Cynthia Sampson.
Hi, Cynthia, and how long have you been plant-based?
About 3 years.
Oh, that's terrific. And was there an event in your life that actually motivated you to make this choice?
There was an event that motivated me to go vegetarian first that I'd like to just mention, and then and that was when I heard Matthew Scully, who is a speechwriter, a Republican speechwriter. He's been a speechwriter for all three Bushes, and I heard him talking about his book. Who can remember the name of the book? It'll come to me when I stop trying. Heard him talking about his book, and he said animal compassion should be an issue for the moral majority. And this was probably 10 years ago now. Dominion. And then the subtitle is something about mercy for animals. He said animal compassion should be an issue for the moral majority. And he spoke very compellingly. I got the book. I could never read more than 15 pages because it just tore me apart. So I finished up what little meat I had in my freezer and became a vegetarian. Much more recently, on moving to Asheville, I became a vegan. And that was as I found out more about, I actually consider vegetarian to be the cruelest of all because it's such a violation of motherhood.
Okay, excellent. All right. And what struggles have you encountered, if any, on your plant-based journey?
The struggles are, I mean, Asheville's wonderful because there's a wonderful and rapidly growing vegan community. There are restaurants and this wonderful block off Biltmore. You know, the restaurants have been proliferating. It's easy to be a vegan in some respects in Asheville. The struggle for me is with my family. None of them, you know, they avert their eyes to the impact of their diet on other creatures. And so now, it used to be they'd kind of try to adapt. If I join them for a meal, they'd leave the butter off the squash, and I leave the squash just plain or whatever. But now I just take my own meal when I have dinner at my sister's.
Good for you. And health benefits and successes, what have they been?
I don't really know. I can't really document health benefits.
Okay.
I know from the literature and everything there are immense health benefits. I can only imagine if I had kept eating meat and dairy and eggs, but there isn't something specific that I can identify.
That's fine. And you've seen the movie PlantPure Nation, and you've watched other documentaries, Forks Over Knives?
Forks Over Knives.
Cowspiracy?
Definitely Cowspiracy, yes.
Okay, so
yes.
awesome. And what advice would you give to somebody interested in transitioning to plant-based eating?
The way I talk about veganism, I say, I actually had a letter to the editor published about the quadruple bottom line, but it's actually a quintuple bottom line. I'm an ethical vegan, which means I'm a vegan out of a concern for animals, animal compassion. But it's human health, environment, ending world hunger, ending the terribly inhumane conditions that people work in slaughterhouses and that sort of thing. And then, of course, the fifth one, and for me the most important, is animal compassion. I become increasingly aware of the sentience of animals, the emotions and intelligence, and I don't know, shall I tell you something that I thought was especially
If it's important to you, yes, we want to hear it.
I think, it's easy for people to identify with the charismatic animals, the elephants and dolphins and some primates. Then we maybe become sensitized to farmed animals. Well, I went to a conference on the sentience of animals, and there was a young Russian man with very accented English who talked about alligators and crocodiles, who epitomize in our lore cold-bloodedness. They have developed social systems, committed family relationships, play behavior, And if you're a crocodile and your baby is ailing and I don't even know you, I'll take a bite of my flesh to feed to your baby. So self-sacrificing behavior. And that to me was a head turner. And we're finding out more about insects and you know, other creatures too, not just the warm-blooded mammals like we are.
That's amazing information. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you for this.